Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is a first-person action shooter featuring a single-player campaign and multiplayer game modes. In the campaign, you play as Private Jack Mitchell in the year 2054. After a large-scale operation in South Korea goes poorly, Jack is discharged from the United States military. His best friend's dad, the owner of the largest private military corporation in the world, lends you a hand and offers you a new job at his company to aid his cause and tackle a new terrorist threat. The Call of Duty formula isn't a new concept to most and has been running dry for a while now. The multiplayer gameplay has attracted a huge audience over the past decade and hasn't really found much of a reason to innovate the formula. For a game called Advanced Warfare, I was hoping the series would try something different to breathe some fresh air into the stale franchise. So, what does this installment have to offer? The great new feature for Call of Duty 11 is the exoskeleton now attached to your soldier, which allows for a much greater freedom of movement where dodging, double jumping, diving and sliding are possible in the face of enemy fire. It was easy to get a grasp of this new control scheme, and has an incredibly satisfying payoff when you pull off a maneuver to stylishly bring an end to a bad guy's life. Lasers and energy weapons are also a new addition, alongside the good old bullet varieties. But in the end, they're all just different skins of guns, which do what guns do. The graphic options offered for the PC release are plentiful, and allow for a great level of customization to get the game running smoothly. This isn't to say that the game will run smoothly on lower end PCs, as the game's optimization is average at best. I found frame rate hitching and freezing to be common in a game that, admittedly, looks pretty damn good, but I wouldn't go as far to say it looks overly spectacular. Like the previous games, it continues to use the washed out aesthetic with little abundance of colour, but the game's environments are filled with variety and have been crafted with great detail. The campaign doesn't pretend to be anything other than a high-budget blockbuster thrill ride. It's filled to the brim with cinematic action sequences, slow-motion door breaches, and quick-time events, but doesn't offer much in terms of the arcade shooter gameplay the series is known for. Fans of action movies may enjoy the overtly unsubtle experience the campaign provides, with many awesome scripted sequences and huge spectacles, but it offers little in terms of gameplay depth. Even though you're controlling a soldier equipped with a powerful exoskeleton and wielding absolutely unfair weapons and tools against the enemy, the game doesn't reward you for being daring and going ham, but rather for hiding behind cover and poking your head out to pick off one of the many enemies at a time to clear an area. Kevin Spacey's performance as Jonathan Irons gave some life to an otherwise cast of forgettable characters, but even he couldn't be saved from the ridiculous writing. He had great potential to be that three-dimensional antagonist, but instead became your jack-of-trades supervillain with little obvious motivation. To its credit, the campaign did mix up things quite a bit, with a few stealth and driving sections, but they just felt out of place and gimmicky. With the same NPC following and corridor shooting sequences populating the majority of the story, as well as the cheesy ending which practically begs for a sequel, it's the Call of Duty campaign you'd expect. It only runs for 6 hours and offers very little in terms of replayability. The survival game modes deserve credit. They're well thought out and provide a few extra hours of entertainment when you can get a few friends together. Speaking of which, let's move on to Advanced Warfare's multiplayer. This is what people stick around for, the fast-paced Twitch shooting which is... Oh. Well, I haven't even begun to talk about the zombie game mode yet, which isn't included with the base game, but... Oh, well, bugger that.